Hey everybody, welcome back to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. Hopefully I am live. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm going to try and take a look at the chat and make sure you guys are all hearing me. Hi Bev, hi Leon, hi Jen. Hope everybody's good. Sorry for the delayed start. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let me know if you can hear me. I think there's just a little bit of a delay always, but that's to be expected. So anyway, yeah, I was delayed. I was getting a bread out of the oven. Mrs. CO was finishing putting the kids to sleep, and I had a sourdough baking in the oven, so I just took that one out. Thanks, John. Cool. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm all fired up. I have like the craziest thing happen to me. I don't know if it's something to worry about or if it's like more just kind of funny. I think it's more just kind of funny, but I take threats kind of seriously, so I'll just spill the beans right now and just like let you guys know the thumbnail was not really a joke. I do have something in common with those two people, Bill Gates and President Obama. There is somebody who wants all three of us dead, apparently. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you guys can hopefully see this. I got a comment on a video I did recently. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but it was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek, kind of meant to be humorous, debunking of Agnes von der Planets, because my serious debunking of Mr. Agnes von der Planets with Logan and Planton from a long time ago has been just getting crazy like comments on it from like pro-Agnes and anti-vegan people, and it's just been really funny. So I just did this one as kind of a funny, almost rebuttal to the comments I've been getting on that video. But yeah, this person says right here, there are two people that I would kill immediately if I saw them in real life. Bill Gates, Obama, and now I put you on my list, you disgusting subhuman. So this guy, or girl, I don't know, apparently wants me dead and would kill me immediately if they saw me in real life. I find this kind of, like I say, kind of funny, but then I also take threats to be kind of serious. I don't usually, I don't take something like this lightly, in the sense that if somebody says or does something like this, I think they're pretty, unhinged. Like, you would have to be kind of dumb to write something where you're actively threatening a current or former president. It's just like if nothing else, that part is just absolutely insane and really crazy. Like, you could even say maybe you wish somebody dead, but like to actually say that they would actually kill these people in real life immediately if they saw them in real life. It's kind of funny. So, hey Jen, I didn't report it yet. I'm actually just kind of thinking I'm going to forward this email, because the comment actually, they probably deleted it after, because when I go to actually look in my comments, like if I go to the manage all comments, this comment is no longer there. And it's really odd. Like if you just go through my notifications, like you can see it here somewhere. Here it is. But then if I click on it, it's like no longer there anymore, and it just goes to the video with all the other comments. And I've also checked to make sure it wasn't in like a spam, or like awaiting some kind of like approval. There was nothing in there on that video. So I think what happened is this person left this comment. I got the notification of it, and then they probably, thought better of it and decided, wow, maybe this is really stupid. I shouldn't be writing that I'm going to, kill the former president or something. And then maybe they deleted their own comment. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't ban anybody on my channel, so like people write some pretty nasty stuff, and I've left all but I think maybe 2 comments up. Like I've removed like 2 comments that were like like racial, like I don't know, like basically harassment or stuff like that. Like I don't know, I don't sit well with that. I don't take that kindly. So if people put like racist slurs and stuff, I will definitely remove that kind of stuff. But calling me stupid or telling me I look ugly or whatever, I don't care. Like you can insult me all you want, I don't care. But this is just kind of like really kind of funny. So I just figured the best, response to this is one to basically say, yeah, I'm not afraid of some random, troll idiot person on the internet saying something stupid like this. Their channel appears to have just a few videos, and I don't know, like I can't really even make heads or tails of, what this even is. I haven't even really even looked at it, but it's just like a weird, kind of thing. Like I don't understand why somebody would be this stupid. Their username also kind of seems like racially, let's say, bigoted, and yeah, it's just like a weird thing. But so anyway, I just thought I'd share that with everybody, and I haven't been on in a long time, so I just wanted to catch up and see how everybody's doing. And I haven't done any news in a long time, and it's not because I'm holding out on you guys. It's that I'm actually genuinely kind of been not wanting to be aware of what's going on. I've taken the head in the sand approach for the past several weeks. I've just felt completely, I don't know, overwhelmed by everything that's going on in the world, and I've just been personally extremely busy as well. So like I've been working really hard on the house, and just doing a lot of other stuff, and trying to maintain the videos here. I pretty much have fallen off the face of the earth as far as Twitter goes. I haven't been on there in like months now, and it's just been really tough. And I think I talked about this a little bit in the live stream I did with Logan and Chris a while back, but I just have felt incredibly, I don't know, kind of overwhelmed, I think is the right word. Like it's not even like depressed necessarily, but like I'm a very positive person usually. Like if anybody knows me in real life, like it's incredibly difficult to make me be kind of pessimistic or down about anything. Like I always try to see the glass half full and all this kind of stuff. But like I say, I don't think I've been really depressed, but I just have felt like overwhelmed, and I just don't want to know like what's going on in the world. Like it's just hell in a handbasket kind of stuff like lately, and I just haven't really even wanted to know what's going on, and a lot of things have been kind of upsetting me. Just not like vegan related per se, in fact, at all. Just things with like the pandemic, obviously, and then also just like all the kind of stuff going on in the U.S., like the racial inequality and systemic racism and everything that's being brought to the forefront of everybody's attention. I think that's just like been really important, and I think that's kind of good that that stuff is coming out. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just been I just haven't really wanted to keep up with things, and just to give you kind of an idea of like the the way that when I say hell in a handbasket, like it's not just me that kind of thinks this. I did want to show you guys this article here. So it says, if life feels bleak, it's because our civilization is beginning to collapse. Please hear me out and don't just worry that I'm going to be leaving everything on a super dour negative note here. Hopefully that won't be the case. But anyway, this was I guess it's more like an opinion piece kind of, really, more than anything, by this person. I don't know them, Umair Haque or Hague, I don't know. And basically they're just saying like, yeah, that the upcoming decades are going to be just worse and worse than what we've already had before. There's a bunch of stuff linked in, to various like stories and articles and stuff talking about how, just bad stuff is going on. Like this is just talking about the environmental stuff that's happening. One thing I do like about this article, I'll share the link with everybody at the end, is it really brings home the point that I think people should be worried about. Like, as bad as this pandemic is, like it's really like, and I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form to slight the people who have experienced losses from the pandemic. It's a terrible thing. Like, I see people in my own personal circle of friends, like in Facebook and stuff. I have definitely seen people who have lost family and friends to the pandemic. So don't take this out of context. I'm not saying at all that those people are unimportant or whatever, but just in the grand scheme of things, like this pandemic is way less something to worry about than all the environmental catastrophe stuff that is happening. And a few months ago, before this pandemic really kind of started taking over the news on everything, Like, I felt like Extinction Rebellion and the related kind of protests and things were really kind of starting to gain traction. And I thought that was a very positive thing. I thought that was really good. Everybody was talking about all the efforts by Greta Thunberg and other activists, young people, the students protesting, all this kind of stuff. And there was some really great momentum there. And now it's just been completely overshadowed by this, pandemic, which is, like I say, I'm going to repeat it again, very serious. And I totally feel for anybody who's experienced any kind of loss from it. And even if you haven't experienced like a death, in your circle of friends or family or anything, but just like losing your job or the economic uncertainty that comes with this and everything. I mean, it's a terrible thing. But like this article kind of goes into, we do have like way more serious things to worry about and get on. And just talking about the climate change stuff and the way that things are going to be impacted, talking about the real systemic kind of failures that are, kind of imminent and looming in our near future if we don't take very drastic action. This is kind of a very dark and bleak layout of those, kind of problems. Now, like I said, I don't want to leave this on a negative note, and I do take issue with some of the things that this person writes in this article, because they really, really kind of are talking about a lot of these things as if they are kind of like a done deal, and they're prognosticating into the future that this is what will happen, and people are going to go and society will collapse, and we'll be left to bitterly fight for the the little scraps and morsels that might be left in the world for feeding ourselves and clean water, etc., etc. And I don't agree with this. I really hope that that is not the case. I think that people can still make a change. People can still get away from this. I don't think this is written in stone that this is what will happen. And I think, if anything, this should serve as a warning that if we don't take drastic action, that this can and probably will happen. So my thing is, I've been focusing on the things that I need to do. I've been getting more and more kind of like honed in on just the stuff that I need to get done. And like I say, that's why I kind of have stopped on Twitter, and I can only maintain so many things at once. And I have just too many, balls in the air at this point, so I've just let some of them fall. I don't want to drop all of them. So, I think the main key that I always want to focus on is that, I think doing things locally and small scale, that is the way to affect change. Like, it's very difficult to do things, especially in the world at large. Like, I've said this many times before, I think if we, focus our efforts on the things we can change, get a backyard garden started, help out a friend, help out, homeless people in your area, like let's focus on helping each other at the small, immediate neighborhood level, and, teach people gardening. I'm learning gardening. I always feel like almost like a fraud for having like videos about like gardening, because like I'm just still just a very, very beginner of everything I do, but I just feel so excited about it that I want to share it with everybody. So I think that is really kind of like one of the biggest things we can do is return to small scale farming, localized, obviously vegan, plant-based diets. I think can be a huge, huge, huge win for the environment. And I really think that's kind of the main thing that I would, want to focus on. And that's what my channel is going to be focused on very heavily, at least for the next months going forward, because I just think like that is something that I think is very serious. And, the warnings in this article are a good kind of, thing to take seriously. Like, people should be worried about this kind of stuff, and doing things now to try to provide for food security, water security. I keep talking about rain harvesting, mulching to conserve water, increase yields, all this kind of stuff. I think like people really need to be getting on board with this. And at the same time, we do need to get back to those kind of, large scale political actions, protests, all these kinds of things, to get people to wake up and not forget the, half a year ago when, Extinction Rebellion was all over the news and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of my take on this. And there's a little bit of good news that I just saw recently. The Dakota Access pipeline, I think DAPL, DAPL, was actually ordered to be shut down. So this was earlier this week, I believe. The 6th, so it was a few days ago. A U.S. court ordered the shutdown of the Dakota Access pipeline on Monday over concerns about its potential environmental impact. And obviously, this is something that they've been fighting for years and years. And these, poor protesters, the abuse that they faced by, police and military and all this kind of stuff, and it's just awful. But finally, it looks like they're maybe, getting some good luck in court. That the courts have ruled that the original assessment did not include a proper consideration of the environmental impact. And they basically said, here it is, that given the seriousness of the Corps, that's the Army Corps of Engineers, NEPA error, the impossibility of a simple fix, the fact that Dakota Access did assume much of its economic risk knowingly, and the potential harm each day the pipeline operates, the court is forced to conclude that the flow of oil must cease. And there were, leaks already in this pipeline a while back. So I'm very happy to hear this. I think, if anything, people do need to move away from this stuff. This is very, very serious. I hope that this stands. The company's obviously going to be appealing this decision, and I'm sure that they're, going to keep using these underhanded tactics against protesters and stuff going forward too. But let's hope that that this kind of stays, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, that was pretty much the only news I really had that I wanted to share with you guys. So let me just get into the comments here and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Leon, it's probably just a 12-year-old trying to be edgy. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. It's sad, though, that if, a 12-year-old thinks that that's funny, and also, like, where would they get this kind of, like, bigoted username, too? Like, they're probably being, indoctrinated pretty badly by their parents or surrounding, people. Anyway. Jen says, I'm not missing much yet. Oh, you have good news for me and race. Okay, cool. I love to hear it. Let's see. Leon, the U.S. will definitely have to reform in the next months, not just the pandemic, but also the economic collapse they're facing. Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy. Like, there is absolutely a lot of stuff that needs to be changed. We can't just keep going on like business as usual. And the really crazy thing is that there are so many people looking to just get back to business as usual. And here in the in the EU as well, like, you just see crazy stuff happening, like things getting reopened and people just act and behave as if nothing had happened. And already we're starting to see soaring figures. People are getting new cases of infections, etc. So I think like, people just need to wake up, and hopefully they do. Oh, Jen, the good news. Okay, first, Sam Harris did an interesting podcast about nukes. Okay. Is that the good news? Perpetually Annoyed, hey, welcome. I'm pro-nuke, give every country a nuke and no one will invade each other anymore. That's what Leon says. That would actually be somewhat kind of logical and kind of good. Like, if everybody had them, no one would want to use them, you would hope. It would certainly be kind of a good deterrent for many of the countries, and it would stop a lot of the bigger superpowers bullying the whole rest of the world like they are right now. So I kind of, think that might be okay. But and that is obviously what they are always fighting, and why they don't want smaller countries to develop their own. I mean, if I had the magic wand, I could just wish and make things happen the way I want. I would obviously get rid of all nukes, and then nobody would have them. But yeah, who knows? Jen says, no, Leon, failed states don't maintain, terrorists get hold of them. Well, yeah, I mean, things are already happening like that now, and a lot of the countries are almost like rogue states anyway, the ones that do have them. I'm not saying there's no risk for it, but if it was such a risk, it would have happened already. Do I watch those vegan guys? I think I've started following them on Twitter, and I don't know if I'm following them on YouTube. I'm going to go check right now. Let's see. Oh, I am not, and I am going to subscribe. I followed them on Twitter a while back, so I just subscribed now. I know Michelle has given them a shout out too. Michelle Lowe, I've been watching her videos pretty regularly, and she's given them a couple shout outs now. They do have good stuff. I was following them on Twitter, I think, is where I saw them. first. They do small backyard growing with pots, learning as they go. Cool to watch. Okay, nice. I'll definitely check that out too. I think, yeah, if anybody, even if you don't have a yard, you can grow an amazing amount of stuff. Like you can do vertical gardening too, where like you have pots that are kind of like stacked on top of each other, and there's kind of a lot of things that people can do, and you don't have to think like, oh, I don't have like acres and acres of land, so there's no point. You can grow a ton of food on a balcony or a windowsill. Like maybe, okay, I shouldn't say a ton of food. That's an exaggeration, but you could grow certainly some things, and anything is better than nothing, and certainly gets you in kind of the mood to learn. Or the other thing that I recommend is if you're in a city and you have no access to your own land, maybe just find out if you can do like a community garden, and become a member there. Or sometimes you can join a CSA, and they can deliver food to you from a like a local garden. And even those things are really good and definitely help. So I would encourage people to do that. Leon says, I don't think terrorists even want nukes. Too much reaction against them if they do use them. Possibly. Jen, listen to the podcast, Leon. Might change your mind. Okay. Jen, terrorists would definitely use them. No state to retaliate against. Have you not seen Back to the Future? Yeah, I don't know that I would agree with that, Jen, but I don't know. I don't really want to argue about it either. I think you're underestimating the response they'll get. Most countries will send troops if they do. Every country they're hiding in would let them just get to them. They have no diplomatic protection whatsoever then. There was nuclear test in Australia and nobody knew about it. From terrorists or governments, yes, magic button news. Since it's a hypothetical, I've made the button only do magical nice things. Nobody eradicated. Nice. That's cool. That's good. It would be nice to have that kind of red button where just everybody will forever be nice to everybody else. It would be great. Yeah, you'll find the link and leave it in the comments later. Cool. That's good, Jen. Thanks. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I hope everybody's good. Like I said, I've been kind of hesitant to really put like a news kind of thing together. I feel kind of odd trying to do the same kind of content that I've been doing in the past. I just don't feel like now is the time to do my usual kind of like, oh, here's like a bunch of stuff like vegan news and whatever, when there's like hundreds of thousands of people dying in the pandemic, and like, there's like poor people getting, their necks stepped on by police and all this kind of stuff, like in the US and everywhere else. And I don't know, I just don't feel like I can just go and be like, oh, here's like, the good news, they opened a new vegan pizza shop like somewhere, like kind of, who cares? Like, I don't know, compared to everything else. Like, obviously it's good, and I hope there is some of that still happening, but it's just kind of hard to kind of motivate myself to put that kind of stuff together. And I also don't want to make it be like super negative, not just for my own self, but for anybody who's watching too. Like, I certainly don't want to be the I don't know, kind of like, I don't know, harbinger, I think that's the right word, of bad news, and just like, I don't know, slaying people with like depressing kind of stuff all the time. So I'm going to keep doing like the gardening stuff, and I've got a bunch of recipe videos that I'm hoping to do soon, and I'm going to do a bunch of updates on some of my exotic plants, and that should be pretty cool. So I don't know, I'm going to focus on some things like that, and hopefully everybody is just kind of hunkering down and taking care of yourselves, taking care of your family, your friends, and yeah, I don't know, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm probably going to end it here. It's 10 o'clock my time, so I'm probably going to be heading off to bed at some point soon. I hope everybody's good. I hope you stay good, stay safe, be smart, look out for yourselves, get gardening, grow some food, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks everybody for joining and being on, and I'll see you guys in another one sometime, hopefully soon. So yeah, take care. Thanks for being on, Leon. I appreciate it. All right, take it easy, guys.